Ahoy music lovers, vinyl enthusiasts, and everyone in between. You see the lights, you know what time it is. It's time for another edition of Night Train. And tonight, I'm going to be entering into Logan's contest over at Swellhead Network. And he is holding a contest for 5 albums that you are a #1 fan of and probably the only fan of. Thought it was a really interesting idea for a contest. Thought I would join on in. And yes, I'm drinking coffee near midnight because I'm about to go into work. I'm in my work uniform. And yeah, just gonna throw in a quick video before work. Thought that would be kind of a good way of keeping myself up. So let's get to it then. So, first and foremost, I'm gonna get started off with an album that's kind of bending the rules a little bit, and that is the Beach Boys' Holland. I have seen people mention this in the vinyl community, music community, and it's one that has been recognized as being very good. However, for the general music listening populace, this is an album that is completely slept on. This is the record that really opened me up to the Beach Boys, and I finally understood what they were all about. And I keep on telling people all the time, you need to listen to this record, you need to listen to this record. And they just ignore me, or they think, well, it doesn't sound like the Beach Boys. Well, that's what's beautiful about it. It shows that they grew, they changed, they did something different. It's a really great record, and if you haven't listened to it, give it a chance. This is my favorite Beach Boys album, so really great record. Next, I have Valdo Williams' New Advanced Jazz on the Savoy label. Now this one I can't fault too many people for not being a fan of because it's a very rare album and very obscure, but this one is well overdue for a reissue. But this is fantastic, really out there, blazingly fast-paced jazz. And I saw this in a record store, $12.99. I picked it up and I'm like, that record cover is just so cool. And I tell people all the time, yeah, you can't find this one on vinyl very available, but it's not an incredibly expensive album still, even though it's on the Savoy label. But go and listen to it on YouTube, and people just ignore me because this is so freaking fantastic. If you're into kind of out there gonzo jazz, this is really going to be up your alley, and that's something I really enjoy. And I think that I'm one of the few people in the world that knows about Valdo Williams. So you guys should definitely give it a chance. And next I have a original motion picture soundtrack by a group called The Inner Thumb Soul Ecstasy. This was released in 1999 and was purported to be a lost soundtrack to a 70s film, Soul Ecstasy. Turned out it was complete fabrication, and there was no film, but the music is phenomenal. Definitely in that same blaxploitation style, really smooth, soulful funk music. And I tell people all the time, you can pick this one up on Discogs, super cheap. It's not that expensive. It's a great soul funk album. If you're a fan of things like Superfly, then you're going to love this record. People don't listen to me. I don't know what it is. I haven't really heard many people talk about this record before, but it definitely deserves to be talked about. So, really great album, and I'm a huge fan of it. And then I have another group that's about fabrication. I think I have something for a group that kind of spins a tale. But this is The Causey Way with Loving and Open Arms. And I just recently discovered this group. but this one has been just on the turntable frequently, and I love just its sporadic, nervous, frenetic energy that it has. And it's a group that basically uh, had went under this identity of being a cult, and that this was the band branch of showing people the pathway of the Causey Way. And I love this record. I've recommended it to a couple of people and to all of my friends, and none of them have listened to it yet, and they don't understand. I think that it's on the same label as Dead Kennedys, and I mentioned things like hooky, poppy, uh, new wave, reminds me of early Devo mixed in with some Talking Heads and Dead Kennedys for good measure. People aren't listening, so get on the Causey Way, find the path to true happiness. So, really great album, excellent record, and I think I'm one of the only fans of this. And then finally, this is an album that I loved so much that I did a review of it, and I think it's one of my lowest viewed videos, and I also actually made a video recording the whole record playing, which is something I've just never done. And again, one of my lowest viewed videos. But this is an amazing album, and it's Pizzazz, Where Have Our Manners Gone? It's what's playing in the background right now. Really, really good psychedelic garage rock, and if you want to hear more about what I think of this record and a little bit more about its background, check out the vinyl review that I did of this. But you can tell that each one was a collage style. It was actually pasted on a Guy Lombardo sleeve, and this is an incredible record. I love this album, and no one listens to it. It just is not a record people are listening to, which is a real shame, and it's a shame that this group only came out with one other record and disappeared into the ether, because they definitely have a great sound. So yeah, number one fan of this album. Alright guys, so what did you think of this contest entry? Did you recognize some of these titles? Are you a fan of them? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, I hope that you have a great day on your own personal releases. Cheers.